Hey guys, Salty here, also known as Nick. Those of you who watch me on Twitch know that already. Those of you who don't, hi. I realize you can't see me, and that's for a reason. Not that I don't have a webcam, I'm new to this, I'm still new to content creation. I do have a TikTok. If you go over on TikTok, you'll see me quite a bit there. I post not regularly, but there's a lot of videos I post. I'm going to try and start uploading there a lot more regularly, just thoughts on, because on there I'll talk about a lot of my sports, a lot of sports talk, a lot of just random stuff, trying to keep up with trends. However, here I want to talk about North American CS. I have a lot of faith and a lot of love for North American CS. I do think it will be a great region if we can get the teams to back us up. That's really and truly what it comes down to. If we get the teams to back us up, everything will be just fine. What we need to start with is we need more players for CS2. I understand not a lot of people have access to a computer to play CS2, and that's okay. Those of you who do and still play CS2, I think it's time we break out of just the face it and the matchmaking, and we start to create teams, start to try and move up. And you'll find people you love to play with, people you hate to play with. I'm here currently starting a team. I've got one player. It's my cousin. We're going to start. I'm getting him more into the game, more used to the game. He really wants to start playing. But I'm doing this because I want to create more opportunities for NACS to flourish. I really do. I really believe strongly in this scene. And really and truly, my thoughts on CS2 in general as is it's a great game. There's a lot of things that need work, but I'm not in a position to say what needs to or what doesn't. I'm not as experienced in the game as a lot of other people are. However, I do really think there's a couple things that could change. One of them is a lot of these clipping issues, especially on Anubis. There's a couple on Vertigo. Those especially. But that aside, that's not the main topic of today. The main topic of today is bringing back North American CS. Those of you who are itching to play at that next level and really want to play at that next level, I just encourage you to go form teams. Go find teams in ESEA Open. See how they work. See if you can work with them. Get in, and just get some of those reps at the professional scene. That's the big thing that Europe has over us, is they just have the bigger player base. However, what we need and how to combat that is just more people diving feet first into the competitive scene. It's hard to do. A lot of you who are younger, it may be a little easier. Those of you who are older have full-time jobs. I get it. It can be a little hard. I'm currently working a full-time job trying to do content creation and start this professional team. And they're not profitable. By no means are they profitable. What we need first, again, is a lot more people willing to play at that higher level. The next thing is those to just commit, not lose one season, go slow, or do bad in one season and then call it quits from there in total. It's just not what we need. What we need is those who can commit to it a lot quicker. And I understand some of you also have families. That's okay. You can find a workaround for it if you really want this. Those of you who are really big CS2 fans and CSGO fans, all you old heads, just in general. That's the first workaround. The second workaround is start encouraging your friends to start playing a lot more, increase that player base. Because we will find a lot more people who enjoy the game like we do. That being said, you also can reach out to me through TikTok DMs. I believe my Twitter's in there as well. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM me on Faceit. I think my Faceit name's in there. If not, I can link it down in the chat or down in the description. But what I really want is to be able to build a team of people who really want to commit to this to try and give North American CS a hope. We will have to work through all of Open, all of ESEA Open. We will have to work through all of main and all of advanced and intermediate to try and get up to that position where we can. We will be playing a lot of qualifiers that we can play. And that's the plan there. I'm currently the IGL, the team's called Res Demons. A lot of you may not know I'm a Native American. I grew up on a reservation for the most part, and that's kind of where the name comes from. But that thought is really just an afterthought when it came to the name. My cousin and I put our heads together and we found this is a good name. We like this name. And so we made the team. Competitive CS is a lot different from matchmaking. I'm going to give that a heads up now. But I'm willing to take that step. I really want the player base to take that step with me. Because I really want to see NACS flourish and not just have EU mini majors every tournament and then just have to bank on a Cinderella team from an NA team where EU teams just having a bad event for NA to have glory again. A lot of us will remember Boston, the Boston major. What a great major, and to date, North America's only major victory. But that's okay. We can bring it back. I really love these other teams, these dogs in Europe who really love to fight, and I see a lot of good teams in Advanced and a lot of good teams in ECL. More of what I'm aiming to do again is just build that talent, because there's a lot of diamonds in the rough of you in Open, in Main, in Intermediate who just haven't been given opportunities to play on higher teams, to be able to get noticed, to be able to get these contracts, these chances from these bigger teams. Recently, NRG just made a couple changes. M80's going through and making a couple changes, and they're struggling. Wildcard, they're in ECL, they're looking alright, but they're struggling as well because they don't have the talent depth to pull upon. There's not a lot of people there who can really support the cast like Europe does. After all, Menacee was just found off of Faceit game. Chris J was found just off of Faceit and FPL. That's where a lot of us can come from and a lot of us are, but we just need that next step. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy change, nor is it going to be an easy thing to help change or something that's going to happen overnight. It's not. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be grinding, putting your nose to that grindstone, going time and time again, falling down hard time after time, but also getting big victories. When we can take down these bigger name brands and teams, we're going to be okay. And when you can see just random NA teams come in and beat the big names and qualify for big major events, then I really think that a lot can happen. And I'm just praying that it does. After all, Pain qualified. Yes, they're salaried professionals, and you don't have to be a salaried professional, and I understand how hard it is to try and balance this game and working. But the other thing is, a lot of you really want it to go well. You really want to see North America have success again. Something other than traditional sports we can really put our hat in, and a lot of people are starting to even con on those because they're catching up. Baseball is a big sport in that, and I really just, in terms of esports, really want to see it flourish. Especially with a lot that's going on, gaming brings a lot of people together, and I really think that'll help tremendously. After all, without it, we see a lot of issues present. Gaming really brings you together, whether you're different backgrounds, whether your country is doing something you don't agree with, or players from a different country that maybe your country doesn't necessarily like. When you're out on that server and you're out playing that game, a lot of things happen and you feel a lot of things. You feel emotional, but at the end of the day, they're your comrades, they're fellow players that you can respect. You can have a tremendous amount of respect for and really want to go far with them and see them flourish and not prey on their downfall, but want to be able to talk to talk trash to, and just experience the world in different cultures and people in that sense. Now, that being said, this may not fall on a lot of ears that don't really have a big audience, but this is my plea to all of the North American players out there. We lost a lot when the Brazilian teams and the South American teams decided to stop practicing here in NA. A lot of people don't know that fact, but a lot of teams have stopped practicing in NA because NA just isn't good. They don't have the talent, they don't have the depth, they don't have calling capabilities that, especially Europe, which is why a lot of teams go to boot camp in Europe if they can. This is a really, really deep subject for me, and because I want to see us flourish. I want to see a North American team up there. I don't want to see these European teams just constantly in those brackets to win and just constantly on those names. I want another Cloud Run Cinderella story. And it's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of work. But I really and truly believe we can do it. That being said, my thoughts on what could be changed is we need a lot more tournaments here in NA to help. Jason Lake has recently talked about doing one and bringing a lot of these old lands back, like CS Summit. Fragadelphia is still there, but we need more. We need more regional. Another thing that really could see happen is a lot more investment in the collegiate teams, helping and aiding those teams out a lot, because a lot of colleges and these Division I universities in these big sports like football, basketball, baseball have developed esports programs. And it's helped a lot. But not a lot of people love these sports because it just doesn't feel the same as when you're watching big names like m0NESY, NiKo, Simple, Device, Dupree, Magisk, Elige, Twist, Katie, and those names just constantly in the server. You don't see a lot of them, so a lot of people don't pay attention to them. But I really think if you can do that, give them a chance. Watch them, scout them, give them exposure to a lot of people, because a lot of you can just start posting and a lot of people will see it, may not necessarily interact with it, or it can get out there. All it takes is one post of these players. And I think something I'm going to do and try to do a lot more is I'm going to pull these collegiate games, these intermediate games, these advanced games, these open games, intermediate games, and I'm going to analyze them, look for key aspects in some of these teams and some of these players that did well, and see if I can use my platform to help bring them out, and eventually maybe do a LAN tournament of my own. do one, especially over here in the West, create a bigger market in the West, make people see the West is a lot bigger, at least the western part of the US is a lot bigger market for things, because right now nothing will happen in the West. A big part of that is most likely due to European times to American times. The Eastern time zone is a lot closer. The other is not a lot of people here in the West can invest into it like the East did. After all, a lot of these Western states don't have a lot going for them. You've got Nevada who has a lot. You've got California who has a lot. Washington and Oregon, and then really it falls off. Arizona, yeah, it's got the Grand Canyon, but what else? Utah's another one. The state where I currently reside. We've got the church here. We've got we've got beautiful, beautiful national parks, and that's about it. There's not really a lot good for this state. Not a lot. Being from here, having family from here, living here pretty much my entire life, there's not a lot of places here there's not a lot of big places to hold a lot of big things. That's why a lot of these states here aren't really included in a lot of things, except at the collegiate level. Arizona, yeah, you have a professional football team. But when's the last time the Cardinals were good? Yeah, you have the Diamondbacks. When's the last time the Diamondbacks were consistently out there? The market just isn't there here for all of the states like it is the East. And that, I think, is a big, big, big issue. And we need to grow that and see if we can bring back the lands here. Bring it back all across the US. Get the exposure that we need. That's just my cry. I'm not necessarily saying you have to invest money into it or any of this. And I'm never going to ask you for money. I'm never going to ask you for a dime. If you wish to give a dime to support me, that's all on you. I will use a lot of it, one to pay off my own debts, to try and improve the quality of these videos for you, to give an outreach, and to invest in the Americas in general. To bring a lot more of these teams like Liquid, Complexity, Cloud9, a lot of these bigger teams that were founded here in North America, 100 Thieves, and try and Optic Gaming's another good one, and try and bring them back. And bring the Americas back to being a fun region to watch, because you never know what's going to happen. And I understand it's just a lot of rambling. I'm not really good at these, especially when I haven't rehearsed and really worked through and done a lot here. I don't have a script written. I don't have the reach that I really would like. I really do want to do content creation full time, but I want to be there to help. I want to do what Zipple did with his team, what Toast did with his team, Disguised Toast Gaming. And I really want to bring it back, bring these smaller nobody teams who can start qualifying for big events, and bring them out. And to start that, I'm going to do my own team. I touched on that a little bit earlier in the video, and again, I may be circling back to things, may not be entirely make sense of one subject here, but I really do believe that's what can need, and I just really want to see us succeed. But to do that, I'm going to need a lot of help from the community. So I'm going to call on you, the CS2 community, the North American CS2 community. I'm going to call on you to help bring about this change, help bring everyone and everything to here. Start inventing new things. Start bringing new prospects, new strategies, just new ways to play rounds and maps to CS. And I really, really thank you all. And I realize this may fall on deaf ears, but I'm an investor in the scene. I want to see it succeed. I'm going to start being a lot more vocal about it as I and I mean that literally, slowly started to grow. So I really just wanted to come out here and spill my guts on North America CS. I'm going to try and have another video up breaking down day 1 and day 2 of the major and just recapping it. It may not be great, may not be good, but I'm just going to try and do that. But for now, I really want to thank you all, those of you who did watch and those of you who can find this, for watching. I'm going to try and get a lot better at doing these videos, these scripts, and making scripts for these videos so I know what to say and topics to touch on. Don't expect a lot of these videos. I'll post a lot of my matches when I finally establish the team and get us in to the Open League and get us to a point where we can continually find success or just scrims in general, and I'm going to try and create that to where we can build a healthy scene, because it's not healthy. And a lot of that has to do with people pulling out because the Americas isn't as good as it should be, or as good as it can be. But I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna thank you all so much for watching here. I don't stream consistently. I try to be live on Twitch every Saturday. Sometimes that can't work. I highly encourage you to check those streams out. It's just a lot of me pugging and playing a lot of Premiere, just trying to work on my game, trying to work on some strats, and occasionally I'll post a couple smokes, a couple things, a couple guides that'll help you all. And a couple tricks to do, especially when you're IGLing, because that's what I did. I used to play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I did play it semi-professionally for a little bit. I'm not going to disclose what teams, but I did. And I was an in-game leader for just about all of them. And it's a hard job to do, but I'm going to try and give people advice, try and breed some more creative thinkers in the scene, just to give us a chance. But that's enough rambling for me. I said I was going to end it a couple times, and this time I'm really going to do it. So I really want to thank you so much. And I'll see you either on the live this Saturday, because I will be going live, or I'll see you next time, or I'll see you in the next video. Sorry about the ad that played. I'm not going to be really good at editing, so this may just be one long ramble and just a couple changes here or there. But thank you so much, so much for watching. And again, I'll see you Saturday, or I'll see you in the next video I post. Have a good one.